You ever have one of those mornings where you walk into the shop, smell that mix of cold steel and cedar, and just feel like the luckiest person on the planet? Even if your back is screaming at you because you spent all Sunday wrestling 4 by 8 sheets of birch plywood.
Speak for yourself, Tiger. My Sunday was spent avoiding anything heavier than a remote control. But judging by the sawdust currently forming a second layer of skin on your forearms, I'm guessing you weren't resting.
Rest is for people who have enough cabinets, which, as it turns out, is nobody. But honestly, I was looking at the calendar this morning, May 25th, 2026. If you told me 10 years ago we'd be seeing the tech we have now, I'd have thought you were reading from a sci-fi novel found in a bargain bin.
It is getting a bit futuristic out there. You're usually the guy who thinks a manual hand plane is the peak of human achievement, but even you're buzzing about the new gear coming out this week.
Well, I'm a sucker for anything that stops me from ruining a $300 piece of material. Have you looked at this HSG Laser GT series? It's not just a laser. It's like having a dedicated production line that doesn't take lunch breaks. They figured out how to move the head with such high-speed sequencing that the dead time between cuts is basically gone. It's like watching a hummingbird that's been trained in metal fabrication.
A robotic hummingbird with a heat ray. Terrifying, yet efficient. But what about the welding side? I saw you circling the Lincoln Electric Alumafab in the catalog like it was a classic Mustang.
Aluminum welding is the heartbreak of the fabrication world. It's the moody teenager of metals. Too much heat, and it collapses into a puddle. Too little, and you might as well be using a glue stick. But this Alumafab system, it's engineered for high-volume aluminum MIG. It handles that thermal conductivity like a charm. It's for the shops that are putting out boat hulls or trailer frames all day. It takes a process that used to feel like walking a tightrope and turns it into a stroll in the park.
Sounds like they're trying to take the art out of it. Or maybe just the agony.
A little bit of both. And then there's InduSuite Octopus. The name sounds like a villain from a comic book, but it's actually software that validates your weld sequence before you start. It's a measure 10 times, weld once approach. I spent half my 30s fixing warps in assemblies because I welded the wrong corner first. If I'd had a computer to tell me, hey Einstein, if you heat that up now, the whole frame is going to look like a Pringle, I might still have some hair left.
Okay, so the robots are taking over the shop? Fine. But they still need people to program the robots, right? Or at least someone to fix the pipes when the robots get thirsty?
Exactly, and that's the part that actually gets me fired up. The trades aren't just for guys who look like they eat gravel for breakfast anymore. Have you heard about Gemma over in Edinburgh?
The plumber? I saw her story. 22 years old and finishing her apprenticeship in gas and plumbing.
Man, she's a powerhouse. She's out there proving that the only thing that matters in a mechanical trade is, can you solve the puzzle? Can you do the work? There's this old, dusty image of a plumber, and Gemma just took a sledgehammer to it. We need that. We're shorthanded across the board, and seeing young people, especially women, walk into these roles and just dominate, it makes me think the industry might actually survive us old-timers.
Well, the money helps too. No one is doing this for the glamour of fixing a high-pressure steam leak at 2 a.m.
Don't tell anyone, but the money's getting ridiculous. And for the kids coming up now, the debt is the real killer. That's why I love what the PHCC Educational Foundation is doing this year. They've put up $18,000 for 75 scholarships for plumbing and HVAC apprentices.
Wait, $18,000? That's not pocket change.
It's life-changing. If you're an apprentice and you're worried about how to pay for your certifications while you're making apprentice wages, which we all know are ramen noodle wages for the first year or two, this is the golden ticket. You get the skills, you get the credentials, and you don't have a mountain of debt hanging over your mailbox. That's the real revolution.
All right, let's pivot. Not everyone wants to crawl under a house. Some people want to make beautiful things and, actually get paid for them. The maker mogul side of things is looking weirdly soft this year.
Soft in texture, but hard on margins. Shopify put out some data, and apparently tufted rugs and custom resin jewelry are the it items for 2026.
I can see you now, Tiger. Put down the welder, pick up a tufting gun. You'd look great in a floral apron.
Don't tempt me. I've seen the price tags on some of those custom rugs, but honestly, the barrier to entry is what's interesting. You don't need a $50,000 CNC machine. You need a frame, some yarn, and a steady hand. Same with resin. It's high perceived value. People love the one-of-a-kind vibe.
But just making them isn't enough. I see so many makers on Instagram with amazing products and 4 likes, one of which is their mom.
Hey, mom is a loyal customer. But you're right. The game has changed. If you aren't using product tags in your reels, you're basically running a store with the lights off and the door locked. You have to let people buy the thing the second they see it. And stop trying to make your videos look like Super Bowl commercials.
Oh, I agree. I scroll past the glossy stuff. I want to see the person who accidentally spilled the glitter or the one who's sweating while they try to get the bubbles out of the resin.
Exactly. Authenticity is the only currency that isn't inflating right now. Show the struggle, show the sawdust, show the 3 failed attempts before the one that actually worked. That's what builds a community that actually wants to open their wallets.
Speaking of struggles, I saw your Sunday night live stream. Sand once, cry once. That sounds like a man who spent too much time with a random orbital sander this weekend.
I was working on that game night table, the ultimate board game setup, pockets for the cards, integrated cup holders so no one spills a craft beer on a custom finish. I got impatient. I skipped 180 grit and went straight to 220.
And
And the second the oil hit that wood, every single pigtail swirl from the coarser grit jumped out and screamed at me. It looked like a topographic map of a disaster. I had to strip it and start over. Hence the sand once, cry once. If you do the boring work right the first time, you don't have to do the heartbreaking work of fixing it later.
it's a rite of passage, though. Every woodworker has to build a table that humbles them.
Truly. But it's also the best way to use up those expensive scraps. I've got a bin of walnut and cherry that's too small for furniture but perfect for end grain cutting boards. You put those together in a checkerboard pattern, sand them until they feel like glass, and suddenly you've got a $100 gift or a top tier product for your shop.
From scrap heap to centerpiece. There's a metaphor in there somewhere, but I'm too caffeinated to find it.
Well, the metaphor is simple. Just keep moving. Whether you're looking at an $18,000 scholarship, a new laser cutter, or just a pile of walnut scraps, the finish line is only there if you keep walking toward it.
That was almost poetic, Tiger. Who are you and what have you done with my grumpy craftsman?
I'm just a guy who realized that even if the world is moving toward high-speed automation and resin jewelry, there's still nothing better than the feeling of a tool that fits your hand perfectly.
Fair enough. So, if you're listening out there, what's your next move? You gonna go for one of those PHCC scholarships? Or maybe it's time to finally set up that Instagram shop.
Whatever it is, don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is usually buried under a pile of mistakes you haven't made yet. Go make them.
Stay sharp, stay safe, and for heaven's sake, don't skip your sanding grits.
We'll see you in the shop.